one should be buying an air-cooled Porsche for like...
For reliability, right?
$60,000. It's like, it's gonna give you issues. You still buy it.
So this is with the cutout closed. And then you can kind of hear the exhaust. It's very deep. With the cutout open, which unfortunately it broke. You hear the turbo spool. It just sounds so aggressive. It sounds fast, but it's not.
But it's not.
It's not.
On ramp, it's just going slowly. You're like, man, that guy. You're like sweating. Like, man, he's working that car.
It sounds really cool, but yeah, it's just unfortunately it's just not dialed in properly. But if you're able to dial one of these properly with like the upgraded turbos and like the supporting mods, like it's a quick car, even for the weight. It can.
Alright everyone, welcome back to Automotive Anatomy. Today we have returning guest, Mr. Miguel. How are you, senor?
Good. How about yourself?
I'm doing well, man. Thank you so much for making the time this morning.
Of course.
Big props to you because today's the day after a holiday, a major holiday. And the fact that you still made time for us, that means a lot to us. It means that you really want to be here, man. That seriously means a lot. So thank you so much for that.
And I appreciate you having me here.
No, man, thank you. What did you bring this time? What is this?
So this is my 1998 Mitsubishi 3000 GT VR-4.
Wow.
It's just a forgotten JDM legend. I never see these around. I know a few in Cali, but you just never see them. And I think there's a couple of reasons why, which we'll go into. But yeah.
Well, first and foremost, the name is so long. I mean, who wants to own a car that you have to say that every single time?
Correct. So this is originally a Mitsubishi GTO, but back then, I guess, who's the one that makes the GTO? Pontiac, right? Pontiac had the GTO trademark for the whole thing, so the Mitsubishi had to switch the GTO badging to the 3000 GT for the US market.
Interesting.
So in Japan, they're considered GTOs, but here in the US, they're considered 3000 GTs.
Huh.
Or Stealths. We also have the Dodge Stealth, which is like the twin.
What?
Yeah.
Man, history class here.
A little bit.
Yeah. So let's back it up. I mean, for those that may not know, obviously you're on a very successful YouTube channel. If you don't, mind telling us the name of the channel and what some of the viewers can expect if they go visit it.
Well, first of all, thank you for saying that. And it's Miguel DSM.
And it's a lot of, what DSM? What is that? Is that your last name? That's not your last name. What's DSM?
At this point is what people call me, just because the DSM stands for Diamond Star Motors, which is basically the joint venture between Mitsubishi and Chrysler. So if you haven't noticed yet, I'm like the biggest Mitsubishi head. So, back when Instagram came out back in the day, I put my name as Miguel _DSM just because that was like my first car. And ever since then, I just kind of stuck. So I'm
messing with it. It's weird. And so obviously people go check out your channel. They see the 3000 GT, the forgotten legend.
Yeah.
They see the actual Eclipse, DSM. They see an Evo, which is, super clean.
Thank you.
And now you went over to the dark side,
the
my
dark
friend.
side, man.
Thank you for joining us.
Actually,
the RS6, man. What's up with that?
I got a little bit of hate for that. I'm not gonna lie. And honestly, I went into it I wasn't really looking forward to the RS6. I honestly, it's changed my mind completely over the last 6 months that I've owned it. It's actually a really, really fun car. And I truly underestimated the K20 just because I'm just the big 4G63 guy. But after driving it every day and just taking it to the track and everything, it really changed my mind and perspective as to why people like Hondas, and just because it's just the way they drive. They're a little bit, they don't have torque, they drive a little bit slow. But once you get higher in the RPMs and you start moving, you kind of get into that motion, right? So I don't know. RS6s are cool. I like them. Type S and
fanboy.
Yeah, a little bit. Oh. But these will always be like my
bread and butter.
Ones. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Well, yeah, man. Well, hopefully, some people can go and check it out and they can see some of the older videos that you've done.
Thank you, man.
Because you've done a lot of pretty cool stuff. But let's fast forward to this. How did we stumble upon this one?
So this was back in 2020. I got a random phone call from one of my buddies saying hey, I have a friend over at a dealership and he's actually selling his Mitsubishi. It's a 3000 GT. It's not running, but he's letting it go for super cheap. I'm willing to give you first dibs if you want to go check it out. And I was like, sure, send me pictures. What's wrong with it? And he's like, well, it's not running. It hasn't been running since 2012. So it was sitting for 8 years, right? And I was like, all right, well, it's going to be a pain because I already knew these were really hard to work on. So I went to go check it out. I talked to the guy. It was black. It was in really, really rough condition just from sitting, a little bit of rust here and there. And of course it wasn't running. So I talked the guy down to a really, really good price to where I just couldn't say no. So then I towed it to a shop, and I got it running, and I tried to sell it. So, and this was because my original plan was actually to build a 1975 Porsche 911 shell that I had at the time. And the one thing about Porsches is just they're really expensive to restore, especially when they're like a complete shell. So I just decided to keep this, sell the Porsche, and then build the 3000 GT with those funds. So that's kind of what I did, especially just because I love these cars and I just love Mitsubishi. I'm willing to sell off a Porsche to build a Mitsubishi instead. So
damn, Mitsubishi, hit them up, man.
That just goes to show. So
and then he realizes that it was cheaper to build a Porsche than a 3000
GT. Yeah. So the one thing I'm gonna tell you guys about the 3000 GTs is they're really expensive to maintain or just fix, especially if you don't know how to work on them, just because they're really, really hard to work on, just based on the engine layout for the 6G72. So it either takes a specialist or someone that's very brave to touch these. So unless you're really mechanically inclined and you know what you're doing, I wouldn't recommend you to get these cars, especially as they get older, because they're going to start having issues, over time, and especially if you don't know the maintenance record. So fuel pump basically, and then timing belt, water pump, oil pump, all the gaskets and stuff like that, just to make sure the car's running good. And if you don't get one that's in good condition, it's going to be very rough just to kind of get it running. Like I haven't even been able to get mine, to the perfect running point, right? Like I still have to get it flashed and everything, but it's been a long journey. I fixed a lot of things on it, and it's been a bit of a headache, but honestly, when I drive it, I think it's the one car that gets the most attention, is just because I kind of consider it like a JDM Ferrari. It's red, it's bright, it's wide, it's turbo, it stands out a lot. So people always give me thumbs up, and it's a really fun car to drive overall.
As long as it's not like some weird thing, like today, I'm meeting with Gus. Diary number 2. Like what? Alright.
So
man, so it has like fancy stuff, huh?
Just the double ding. So one thing I gotta tell you guys is, like, even though the car looks very sporty, it's one of those cars that you just cruise in because it's super comfortable, especially on the freeway. It's just, the suspension feels really good. It's to the stiffest setting, but even then it just, you feel like you're just cruising in a little sports car. So it's one of those cars that you just like to drive slow. And I can't push it either because it's not tuned, so I don't want to blow it up here.
It's nice though. Any short shifter? Or that's
no,
stock?
all stock. Yeah, this thing's all original.
It looks really direct.
And the one thing I do complain about this is like the shifting feeling of this car is very notchy. I think it's a get rack transmission. It's just very notchy. It's very rough. Like compared to the RSX feels like butter. This one, I have to like think about it and then like force it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's weird.
So it kind of kills it if you try to do like momentum driving.
Yeah.
Well, it kind of reminds me of the F40, no? Isn't that gated? And so like when you shift, you can't just shift like it's a gated mechanism, so you have to go very slowly, right?
I've never been inside an F40, but if it's like that, then it's basically pretty much it. You were saying like this car reminds you a lot of the F40, or?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Nice long nose, big rear wing in that shape.
It's possible that Mitsubishi probably like tried to like got inspiration from that car to make this one. You don't think
Ferrari got inspiration from this one.
I will say that.
Even though this car came many years later, but that's funny. And damn, you make me want to get one with all those problems that you foresee.
So I'm going over the negatives at the moment.
Mitsubishi sitting down like maybe wait hold on, maybe we won't use him as a spokesperson.
Now I speak for myself, because there's going to be Mitsubishi owners out there that have never had any single issues with their 3000 GTs, which I think is great. And honestly, I think they're very reliable when they're properly taken care of. But I got mine in non-running condition. It was sitting for a long time, and once I did all of this, and the car's running somewhat decently now. So all that's left is very minute, is just the flash. But I had to do like I said, the timing belt, the water pump. We did the oil pan. I had to get an extended one. I changed out the whole exhaust system, changed out the injectors, the fuel system, the fuel lines were all redone. And it was just because it was sitting for so long that everything just kind of...
You should have been like, what have I not changed? And then you just be like the seats. So you pretty much, you rebuilt this car, man. That's pretty fun.
So I pretty much did like a little small restoration on it. I ended up wrapping it carmine red.
Oh, nice.
And then I did the 99 front end conversion. So this to me is the most aesthetic front end. It has kind of like the catfish look, but it's also the most expensive, and that's just because it's kind of hard to find like these corners and these headlights. And a lot of the biggest issue with these cars, a lot of things are becoming discontinued and very hard to find. And just because of that, like people that do have these, used, they just sell for a lot of money. And
Gotcha.
that's kind of where I see the market going. It's just going to be really hard to find certain parts about these cars, and it's just going to get really expensive to build at some point.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, man, I mean, I like the fact that you took on a challenging platform to build. It is what makes, sometimes the small communities what they are.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it definitely gives me a Ferrari vibe for sure. Yeah. It's crazy because during that time, people, manufacturers were actually building cars with passion, as we discussed.
Yeah.
Toyota, Skyline was out there. I mean, all these different cars that, they're not cookie cutters like the ones that we have nowadays.
It was the golden era for the Japanese cars for sure. And you could tell that, Mitsubishi really putting a lot of thought and just money into just research and development and seeing what works. And I mean, they built these from like 91, so it's almost
that's wild.
Yeah,
for a 91 design, it's pretty crazy. And now they have you upgrading it.
It was definitely a challenge to restore it. It was out of my comfort zone, but I honestly learned a lot, and I've been very fortunate to have the friends that just help me work on my cars most of the time. So the one thing about me is I love working on cars in a group setting, because like when you have company, they could probably help you with something that you don't know, or you could learn something from them, and vice versa. And it just makes the building process that much easier. Like when I'm building the car by myself, I don't know, I get more frustrated easily, and everything just feels a little bit harder.
Gotcha.
So that's kind of my preference. So yeah, I've been very fortunate with the guys at the shop and stuff like that have helped me, get it back up to spec. But yeah, I'm very happy with it.
Yeah, that's cool, man. I'm glad. Well, let's start talking about it. You say you wrapped it color red.
Yeah.
What made you go with red?
I think this is like the color for the 3000 GT.
Okay.
I think it's the most common one, but at the same time, I think it's the most fitting color, and just because, like I said, it gives it Ferrari vibes and stuff like that. I like the black, but it's just the red makes it look really, really pretty.
1000%. And you wrapped it yourself?
No. So this was wrapped by VV Wraps out in Indio. They made a really good job. They did it like in 2 weeks. Gotcha. And they did a way better job than I could have done, honestly. They did really good.
A whole bunch of bubbles and stuff.
Yeah. So it's been wrapped for a couple of years.
Because I seen you wrap your RSX.
Yeah, so I tried wrapping the RSX and never again. It was it was a pain.
I love how you can work on this car, but no, wrapping, there's no way I can do a wrapping.
No, props to my guys that wrap, because honestly, it looks easy, but it's not.
That's how you know they're talented.
Yeah, it's a lot of technique.
Gotcha, awesome.
So,
and then the front end, what have you done to it?
So this is the 99 front end, which consists of the 99 headlights, the 99 turn signals, the 99 front bumper, and then we have the 99 front carbon fiber lip. So that's pretty.
And what's in it? That's just the OEM carbon fiber lip?
No, this is an aftermarket one.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
What else? This is pretty much it for the front. If we go to the side, we have the side splitters, and then we have the wheels, which these are the Enki NT03 18 by 10.5, and they're on Federal RSR Pro tires, and they're 275/35
Jesus.
R18. So they're a little thick. But the one thing that's cool about these cars is I think you could actually fit a much fatter tire, because you can see in the back, like I'm actually tucking, and I'm sitting pretty low. So
coming from like more of a Honda background, where the wheels and the tires, everything's smaller.
Yeah.
Like when I hear 275, it's like, shoot, that's big,
lot.
Right? But then for this car, which is
it's a big car.
It's a very proportionate, nice car, but it is a big car.
It's a big car. Yeah.
But yeah, you can see that you can still fit a bigger tire there.
Yeah, definitely. And even when you drive the car, it feels heavy. It feels like a boat.
Does it?
It feels like a very sporty boat. If that's
okay.
So the RSX to me feels like a go-kart, and then this feels like a comfortable, quick little boat. It feels not like a Challenger boat, but like, I don't know about making myself.
No, I get what you're saying. Trust me, I drive in a Accord. Trust me, I know what a boat means. I mean, I'm just, as you're saying that, I'm like, man, you think the RSX is a fast, handling car? You gotta come out,
Yeah.
Experience some of the other Hondas. But anyways, okay, so very nice carbon fiber touches. I really liked it.
Thank you.
The rear wing, oh my god,
yeah,
it's so good because it's big.
It's huge.
But if like the car would look weird without it. This is perfect.
Yeah. So this is the 99 spec Lag Designs carbon fiber wing. So this is an OEM style. It's not an OEM direct replacement. but this wing came originally on all the 99 models. So this is kind of like a 99 conversion. This is actually a 98, so it's a little bit different.
Okay.
I used to have a smaller wing, which was kind of like a hoop, kind of like the Eclipses. And then I ended up going to this one. So it also has the 99 rear garnish, which only comes out in that year. And then I have the JDM taillights, which have the amber corners. So it's kind of, you kind of want to find the rare parts for this, and that's kind of how I did it.
So the 99, that's the harder thing.
Yeah, 99 is like the most sought after model in year, and it's one of the rarest. 98 is going to be the rarest year for the VR4s, and the 99.
Interesting.
Yeah. So for the 98 models, only 231 were made, and this is number 55.
That's it?
Yeah.
Holy.
Yeah. And I think for the 99, it's like 290 something. I'm not too sure on the number for the 99, but it's a little bit higher. Super rare, man. Super rare.
Man.
So if you see like an older gen, like a newer VR4, it's usually 98, 99.
Wow,
So,
that's cool, man.
yeah.
Little piece of history.
That's why you never see them. So.
Heavy car, right?
It's 3,800 pounds. So that's why I say it feels like a boat. I'm used to 2,700 pounds, 2,800 pounds. So this to me just feels like a very wide and heavy car that has like a little bit of body roll when I turn, but it's just really comfortable. Like I could probably daily drive this with no problems. Well, I don't know.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, comfort-wise.
That's a little, the comfort, yeah.
But I'm sure people do it out there, man. It's just.
No, they don't. No wonder when
comment if you do.
I was like, let's feature the 3000 GT. Nah, man, I got that resin. Nah, let's do the 3000 GT. Nah, let's do the Evo. Like, you kept avoiding 3000 GT. Why, man? And now I understand why. Okay, gotcha.
I just never tried it, man. I put 695 miles since I bought this car. This is 3 years already.
This is
so
good.
Yeah, 600 miles in 3 years. I just don't drive it, and it's a fun car. Don't get me wrong, but it's, I don't know. It's just one of those cars that I like to like just look at sitting pretty in the driveway.
I hear you.
Yeah, it's still fun though.
It's very comfortable, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
You know?
And this is with like the stiffest suspension settings.
Gotcha.
Dampening. Yeah, you can see how it turns. It's very like. Go through the drive-through.
It's 6-speed?
Yeah, correct. 6-speed and.
Well, because there's base 3000 GTs, right?
Yeah, correct.
And
but
then
the
there's
VR4,
the VR4.
The VR4 one is the one you want. The VR4 is a twin turbo all-wheel drive version.
This is an all-wheel drive car?
Yeah, correct. All-wheel drive.
Oh,
Four-wheel
shoot.
steering.
No way.
Yeah, dude. You feel it. Like the rear wheels turn a little bit when you're in the canyons. It's a really good touring car. It's a really good.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, it handles really well.
I didn't realize. Okay.
So yeah, this car was very ahead of its time, especially like the earlier generation, the 1G, because they had the active aero, active exhaust and stuff like that.
No way.
Yeah, this car was super advanced for its time. For being 90s, like Japanese.
Interesting.
Yeah, Mitsubishi just went out.
Do you know how much they were coming out of the box, like brand new?
I'm not too sure, but these were considered the luxury cars of Mitsubishi back in the day. I wouldn't be surprised if they were like 50, 60. I would have to kind of ask some of the original owners. But I did see them depreciate over time, and at one point they were so cheap that anyone could get them.
I think because of how hard it is for them to be worked on, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like eventually people are going to jump on and be like, wow, this was, like, you just, based on what you say already, so ahead of its time.
Yeah. And I think it's only a matter of time before they gain popularity. So we saw that with the Supers and the GTRs. It's crazy how much they're going for. Mm-hmm. These are still somewhat acquirable, but I do believe they're going to follow the same trail because they're in that same category. So I do believe these are going to keep going up in value over time, especially the VR4 models.
The design of it is just so beautiful, man.
Yeah, it's timeless.
It's weird how to like explain it. Like it's a gray looking car. Obviously you can tell that it's not brand new, but it reminds me of the NSXs where you just don't know what year they are because the design of it is so nice.
Right.
But as you find out they're in the 90s, you're like, wow.
Yeah.
Great job to the designers back then.
You realize a lot of stuff, dude.
we're realizing a lot of things that
having epiphanies.
We're having epiphanies and we both want F40s. God damn.
That's bad.
That's bad.
Okay.
Avoid it. Don't go.
Yeah, I know.
But the car is naturally really, but it doesn't look. So the car looks low, but but like when I was doing the beauty shots right now,
Yeah.
there's still a little bit of
there's
space.
a gap. Yeah. I could definitely go lower, but at that point, it's just it doesn't become, it becomes really unfunctional, and I also don't want to break the front lip on this thing. But it was funny because I was trying to put a front lip on my Eclipse the other day, and it's like, as car guys, we all put front lips on our cars, but we know they're gonna break.
But you still put it.
But we still put them on. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to.
Go like this.
See, how's the radius on this?
It's decent. It's not as bad as the Evo.
Evo's horrible.
Yeah, the Evo is.
I'm so
really bad.
surprised though, because it's such a nimble car, but it's well known that
Very
Evos.
tight.
Yeah.
With this car, it's like it takes up the space. Like, it's just like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, it just feels wide, and it's like you cruise it. I don't know. It's different. You
This
drive
is
it
definitely a car that you don't take to a dinner.
Why do you say that?
Well, it scrapes.
Oh yeah.
It smells like gas. You know.
You don't use it for a first date, or actually maybe.
Maybe. That's a test. That's a
That's
test.
a test, right?
If she says, yeah, let's see each other again, you're like, all right, now let's check out the clips.
Look, man, at the end of the day, she's getting the privilege to go into 3000 GT VR4. That's the way I see it. She should be thanking me. She should be paying for the dinner. I don't know.
She'd be like, you borrow your dad's car? Like, are you poor or?
I mean, if I was a girl that was into cars and I got picked up in one of these, I'd be hyped.
Yeah. Definitely be in the power plant to see, because I think that you're eventually gonna be swapping a K series in here, but
More like a 4G63, but let me get my breakfast out of here. Okay.
All right, Miguel, what do we got going on in the
So all I did to the interior is just do the black leather interior conversion. So this one actually came with tan interior, which I wasn't really a fan of. Some people are.
Okay.
But yeah, it's pretty much just black leather interior and double din stereo, and that's pretty much it. I have a couple gauges in there, but I mainly wanted to keep it stock for the most part and original. And I don't know. I haven't had it that long either. It's just a matter of time to keep building it. But
I mean, you have like 4 different cars, so yeah, I believe it. It almost reminds me like they just added the seats in the back just for insurance purposes, but I don't think anybody fits back there. You're a small guy. You're in shape,
no,
dude, and you're like,
you're not gonna fit anyone back there.
I'm like, how? Like, this guy's in shape and the seats all the way in the back. Gotcha. Okay, so you did the whole black. Was it black carpet that you changed?
Yeah, black carpet, and then the seats, and then the back seats and the panels.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
And then was the dash black already?
Yeah, the dash came black like that.
Okay, cool.
Correct.
But everything else was tan then.
Everything else was
That's
tan.
weird.
It didn't look bad. It's just a tan has never been my style.
I
I've
get
always
you.
been more of like a black leather.
Same. Gotcha. Okay. And then these are 99 seats? Or
No, they're just 3000 GT black leather seats.
Okay, so
Yeah, nothing specific.
nothing specific.
Yeah.
Okay. But it looks good. I mean I like
it's-
the bolstering of it.
Yeah, I need to clean it up a little bit because I had
Some Recaro seats might look good
Oh
there.
yeah, trust me, I know. One day, man.
That's the dream. All right, let's see what we got going on in the power plant.
This is the dreaded 6G72 platform. So I'm sure my K series guys with like the little 4-cylinder are gonna think like this is too much, but
What
here it is. It's
the
just
heck is this?
it's just really hard to like you have to take off a lot of things just to get to a specific part, right?
I'm just trying to figure it out because okay, this is the valve cover, clearly.
Correct. Yeah.
The front one,
Yeah.
and there's the other one in the back.
Correct. You have to take off the plenum just to be able to access it. So if you want to do a spark plug change, you pretty much have to remove the plenum, this thing right here, and then you have access to the 3 holes in the back.
Why would anybody do this?
I don't know. I don't know what.
What the heck? And the turbos are both on this side?
So one turbo's right here, and then the other turbo's in the back. Yeah. So they're very hard. Yeah, you pretty much have to take apart everything. But I mean, I feel like once you start doing it like a lot, you kind of it becomes easier.
Tell whatever you want, Miguel. You're not convincing me, man. You're not convincing me.
Yeah, but for anyone just going into it like brand new, I can see why it was intimidating. This is why I was scared.
What the heck? Dude, I'm intimidating. It's not my car.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you got it, what was the major, I guess, mechanical things that you had to upgrade or fix?
I had to switch out mainly the fuel pump, the fuel lines, the injectors. It was mainly fuel system issues.
Okay.
I added the fuel pressure regulator, and it was just mainly fuel issues that I wasn't running just from it sitting for so long. But besides that, I changed out the spark plugs. I did the, like I said, the extended oil pan on the bottom. What else? I'm trying to think. I did besides that, I did mods. So from my intercooler, what else did I do? I think that's it, actually.
Okay.
Besides maintenance and just like a motor mount, it doesn't have much done, honestly. It's pretty much stock. But these engines are very capable. So if you talk to anyone that owns one of these, you know, they know that you could easily make 500-600 horsepower on these with just bigger turbos and supporting mods. So they're capable motors. It's just you have to be willing to want to touch them or work on them, you know.
Right.
So
They become very finicky?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So any little thing that goes wrong, you're gonna start having issues, and it's just
Never
they're very delicate cars.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many miles does this car have?
99,000.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And then you said it's twin turbo, right?
Yeah, twin turbo stock. These come with like around
That's
320
wild.
horsepower from factory. But yeah, this was meant to compete with the Supras, the GTRs, in the FDs, and the 300s. 300s EXs from Nissan back in the day. So
I'm just looking at the air conditioning line
yeah,
and the way it's routed. It makes me think like, damn, there's no space anywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that it has to go through the side, up to, and then, nah, man.
Oh,
This is wild. Why would anybody want to do this? to
that's
themselves?
why it looks stock for the most part. I try to stay away from the engine bay as much as possible.
Man.
But yeah, props to my 3000 GT guys that work on these all the time, because it takes someone special, like I said, just to be able to touch
Seriously.
these. Yeah.
Any future plans for the engine?
I mean, I've always said if it blows up, I'm going to do a 4G63 swap just to make all the space, because it's a little 4-cylinder from an Evo. And I think, one, it would be lighter. Two, I can make it faster, better aftermarket supports. And it just gets rid of all this in here. I mean, no hate towards a 6G72, but I'm just more familiar and more comfortable with a 4G63.
I'll hate it. I'll hate it because I'll be the spokesperson for the hate. Dude, this is a little bit, a lot.
Yeah.
That's good. I mean, but it's been running good.
It's running good. I currently have to flash it because we upgraded the injectors. So I need a better file to make it run a little bit richer. So it's leaning out right now, and I shouldn't really be driving it, but
Thank you.
I'll get it flashed. Of course.
Cool. Hopefully nothing bad happens today. We'll make it back home. Now, nice smooth road. The car feels good. I mean, I'm sure internally you're like, please don't break on me. Please don't break. I'm just relaxing, enjoying coffee. You know.
Honestly, I trust it. I know it's a good car. I just don't drive it enough, and it's not flash. So I really wish I could do some pulls just to show you guys. Like, it's not slow, but it's not fast.
Yeah.
It's quirky, and it moves on its own way. It moves its own weight. That's the best way to put it. But I gotta take care of it right now. That's why. But it cruises just fine. Like, you know.
I like the exhaust though, man.
I love how deep it sounds.
Yes.
Very aggressive.
I mean, I probably wouldn't want it on an 8-hour drive, but
Oh yeah, for sure.
this is cool for like an event, a morning run, a canyon run.
Yeah, cars and coffee.
Cars,
type of
yeah,
situation.
for sure. Especially when it gets colder, boost weather, everything works well with the turbos, and bam, you go and you punch it.
Yeah.
Damn. I definitely enjoyed the time with the VR-4. I didn't know all those facts, and that's pretty cool that there's somebody out there like yourself who's really passionate about this car and is willing to put up with the headaches.
And I appreciate you showcasing this as well, because these are the forgotten 90s JDM legends. I feel like these are the ones that are the most underrated. Like I said, these are meant to compete with the Supers and the GTRs, and it's just the fact that people just don't love them enough. It's kind of sad because I think they're the most aesthetic in my opinion. I think these look the best out of all of them.
Yeah.
But it's all perspective, and at the end of the
Super
day,
perspective there, because I'm not gonna say I agree. That's kidding. No, yeah, that's true. I mean, they're great looking cars.
Yeah.
They look like an F40.
Yeah. I wish they got more hype than what they do. That's kind of partially why I built it too. I want to showcase, the possibilities, or how good these can look, or how good they can perform, right? So, I love this car, and I'm grateful to have it. So.
Is there anybody out there that that has a whole bunch of VR4s?
Oh yeah, there's.
Oh yeah.
If you go on Facebook, there's like a bunch of Facebook groups, and there's guys on there that have like 5 or 6, and
Damn.
they live and breathe the 3000 GTs or the Dodge Stealth. So
They want problems in life.
yeah, I guess. I mean, us Mitsubishi guys, we're a special breed. But we're the coolest.
Hi man, thank you so much for making the time. I learned a lot. I didn't know any of those facts. Anything about the VR4. I had zero clue about it. I mean, I can see on the side it's twin turbo, but other than that, I didn't know it was all-wheel drive in essence. How rare of them they are.
Yeah.
I knew they were hard to work on, but I didn't realize how hard it is. Big props to you, man. So thank you so much for making the time, driving it out, and any shout outs, man.
Any shout outs? Shout out to anyone that has ever laid hands on this car, first of all, because I wouldn't be in this position if it wasn't for you. Shout out to Automotive Anatomy here, the channel, for having
Appreciate
me here
buddy.
as well. And just shout out to my mom, 'cause she's like my #1 supporter.
Always.
That's pretty much it. But yeah, this car is like the one car that like you want your friend to have because you see it all the time and you kind of get to
But you don't
enjoy
want to have it
But
yourself.
you don't want to have it yourself because you don't want to touch it. So yeah, I'm that friend.
You're that friend? Oh man, I
So-
mean, that's cool. Can't wait to see it, man. Like I told you, man, I hope everything continues to go well for you like it's been, and it'd be cool to see what you do with this car. You know, you if you actually really was to make it your own unique
Like a
type of
crazy
build,
build,
like a
yeah.
crazy build. I really legitimate, wholeheartedly like the shape of it. It's a cool looking car, man. It's
cool.
just
It's a cool platform. It's just it's not for everybody.
clearly.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, man, keep kicking butt. This is great.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.